Today's topic, we're going to be talking about the man, the myth, the legend. If you're a single man, you may be worried about your spouse. If you're a married man, you would be worried about your spouse around this guy. But if you were a single man, you may champion him, you may worship him, you may call him Diodogu. This is a man that has been making his rounds around the African X Twitter space, and I would say right now he's the most popular man in Africa at the moment. Without further ado, I'll let very dark man to carry on with this story.
All right, so a lot of you are getting this story of this man mixed up. This man, Baltasar Ebangegonga of Equatorial Guinea, was not arrested because of all those knocking tapes. This man was arrested because in his office they were suspecting him of being fraudulent. So they carried out the investigation, and the investigation led them to his house. While they were looking for evidence, document, and everything to prove that he was fraudulent, that was when they came across those tapes. Those over 300 and something tapes. Now, a lot of things, men, especially men, I need to learn from this thing. If
Okay, the story of Baltasar Ekonga is one. I don't know what position he actually held, but he was being investigated for fraud. And while they were investigating him for fraud, they came around, found some tapes, and uh, the videos of the coitus interactions he was having with women were on his phone, I believe. And from what I saw, I didn't watch the videos, but from what I heard was that it was over 400 videos. There were some, these were people's wives, not just people's wives, influential people's wives, and some were regular customers. Like maybe after the very first time, some I heard that some came like 15. Some of them were 15 times in that same particular video. They probably enjoyed the. They had a very good review of his services, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, I'll let him continue.
you watch those videos, like me, I get over 80 of the videos, right? If you watch those videos, none of those women were forced. None of them were forced. None of them were minors. As a matter of fact, some of those videos, now the women, they even adjust the camera. They look the camera face to face, they laugh. Those were people's wives, the president's daughter, people wife, people pregnant wife. Do you understand? There was no jazz, there was nothing. And before you think the man is using his influence of his political office, or is using influence, or maybe he has money to knock all those people, it's not true. Because the Attorney General of the Federation wife did it. So if you knock the Attorney General of the Federation wife, that one go get money, obviously. President's sister, the president's daughter did it. In that one, the IG of their police did it. So it's not influence or it's not money. These women were willingly.
This guy slept with the wives of the Attorney General of the Federation, his wife. He slept with the president's sister, the president's daughter. He slept with the IG of police's wife. There was one question that came to me, like, how did he get connected with all these people if he was a normal person? Anyway, yeah, this guy he's married with a wife and 6 kids or so. Even for me, when I was thinking about he had 6 kids, I was like, this guy loves to knock, loves to have coitus a lot for him to have six. And probably his wife was like, I can't take any more. I can't have any more. And he was like, okay, maybe I have to look outside. Yeah, but he's actually has some very influential. I actually think now that it's probably the reason why he was so investigated for fraud is probably because he messed with a lot of influential people, and they used fraud as a disguise to get him. Because think he actually pissed off some of the wrong peoples because in Africa, I like to, especially when I look back at where I was from in Nigeria, there is no real protocol. I mean, they have laws, but the laws don't really work. The only times the laws work is when you irk somebody, when you piss somebody. At times, sometimes you just get really, 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 really unlucky. And if you're unlucky, yeah, but some other times you just pissed off the wrong person, and I think that's what happened in his case, and that's why he was under scrutiny for fraud.
He giving the akpekus to this man. Do you understand? He seek consent 100%. Why? If you go deeper, you see men, a lot of una go just marry wife, una keep for house, una go neglect them, una bring money for food, give them money for school fees, make them don't buy clothes. If you say that the only thing where women need, women like attention, they need attention, give them attention. I'm pretty sure that man saw the loopholes of their husbands and immediately he proposed all those things to those women. They were okay. They were happy. The camera did their face. They didn't care if this video will ever come out. They spread leg. Some of them are then carry their own saliva put for the toto for the guy. Yes. The one will even get belelo send. See those ones for in office, about 4 for in office, 2 get belle, 1 for in office. They look the camera. They no care. Me, the person why I even pity for all these things, now the man wife. To think they knock all those women without CD. You go come see knocking wife. That's number 1. Number 2.
Oh yeah. The other thing is that he was having coitus with them without a condom. All of them. And there were some pregnant women in there. In his office. Another question this raises for me is more like, there are a lot of times I think when you ask a guy who, most men, if you ask them if you have a superpower, which one would it be? Most of them would say money, because they think with money they can get a lot of women, and I mean you can also get really a lot of influence with your money. And some men, when they get money, they just think they've won it, and a girl is always gonna love them. But what I start to understand is, just because you have a lot of money and a lot of influence does not necessarily mean that you're going to have a seamless relationship. A friend was telling me a few days ago that in Cameroon, these kind of things happen where a man, because he has a lot of money, marries a woman, and the woman thinks she's in love with him because this man has money, has a lot of influence. But sometimes when they get into the marriage itself, they then realize that this guy's not as attractive as I thought he was, and sometimes they get married for the wrong reasons because of the lady is coming from a place of need for money. Maybe she came from poverty and she's marrying him because he has money, but later after marrying him, discover that all he has is his money, there's nothing else about him. They say girls love personality. I don't know, but still, this also goes the other way around. Some of the men too, it could be because women don't feel the men, or it could also be because the men, they know that the men are outside, and this friend was trying to tell me that they all understand and they try to keep it under wraps. So the man is doing his thing, the woman is doing his thing, but I keep it under wraps. And in this particular case, there's a chance that very possibly, because African politicians definitely love to smash outside of their marriage. So maybe that's why their wives are in this kind of scenario. And these wives, some of them were like the ones setting up the cameras, like they stared into the camera like there was nothing wrong, like this is just routine and normal. Yeah. I don't know why you say 400 videos on your phone though. That's just another level. I just think for this man had he could not control his urge for coitus. He let it control him. Because why would you why are you doing 400 videos on your phone? Are you watching? all of, I don't know, man. That's too much. It's like, don't you think your wife is gonna catch you? Even to this point now, I started to think it's even embarrassing. I know some people champion him. I don't really, because I think to myself that it's embarrassing us for his kids. It's embarrassing for his wife. One, because in Africa, people are very blunt. Like, it's not like in the West where people care about your feelings, so they're not going to say certain things. In Africa, they will say things to your face. They'll be like, this one way Papa just dey sleep around. Like, even the kids will say things to his kids' face. Parents and adults are going to say things to his kids and his wife's face. It's a lot of shame. And I know that in this, many times in African communities, the men that kind of sleep around, they don't necessarily care about the kind of examples they show. I don't know, but yeah, this is also like for people that that always think that when you go to certain places like Africa, the women are more submissive or they'll be more faithful. They don't have a lot of bodies. What I what I've come to realize is that people are people, and no matter where you go, you're still gonna find similar kind of stories. That is not to say that because of the culture, they're no more celibate or submissive. But even now, I even think it's changing. But you're still gonna find these kind of things. Like, it's always there. This is what I'm trying to say.
Everybody they talk about only this guy video, but this particular woman video, her own video alone, it passed like 15 of different women. Now only another one of one man, and I think the other man was her husband. She has the same video with her husband where she get with this man. Every other one this woman has is with different women, young girls, older women and all. She could just carry them, who suck to carry them, who suck to this one, or she go the suck person to or there go be like 4 for inside the room, 3 go the suck her own, or she go the suck the 3 own. She had her own phase. I don't know why now only this man who they see. But I guess, okay, yes, because of the man public office. Man, stop neglecting your wives. This is the internet generation. Unlike before, where it go hard for somebody to meet your wife, this is internet. Small thing, they don't start to the chat. If the guy they said jeans, your wife will say she want order jeans for you. Next thing, maybe through she want order jeans. The guy don't start to the hype your wife. Oh, your wife look, oh, you look beautiful. I'm sure your husband is treating you well. Next thing, I don't start to the talk. Next thing, you never know, because you are nowhere to be found. Because ask yourself a question right now: how were these women so comfortable with their husbands at home? They were so comfortable to be doing all those. If you check out well, even their husbands are guilty of the same thing these women are doing in that video. But it still doesn't justify anything. If at all say you no go shame for your husband, shame for your children. If at all say you no go shame for your wife, shame for your children. It's just an embarrassment. But for me, this guy did not commit any crime at all. The only one where pay me is the crime against, oh my goodness, crime against moral and principle. The one where knock him brother wife, give him.
Anyway, yeah. So for me, I just think that he does not necessarily have a lot of self-control, and the fact that he even went ahead, the fact that even he went ahead and he had coitus with his brother's wife, with his uncle's wife. That for me is really, really, it just shows that you don't have any form of self-control. You're willing to destroy your family because you want to experience pleasure. So, yeah, I don't think he's committed any crime, but I feel that he's messed with the wrong people, and that's why they're coming for him. And the other thing too is in in Africa, I know that there are times when people, I mean, many people, many men, there is almost the dynamic of the man having his role and the woman having her role, and the man is supposed to work and provide, and once he gets married, it's like it's like as though she's supposed to take care of the family. So sometimes there's no real, well, I say interaction, and from what he said, he's saying that women require attention, and these men get complacent and they don't offer attention to their wives, and situations like these do happen. Sometimes people just marry women and dump them in the house, almost as though like just get married to them and keep them there, as though like they are not still gonna yearn for affection for their partners. And sometimes if they don't get affection, they're gonna seek it out elsewhere too. Some other times too, these politicians they are also doing their things. I know how things kind of run in Nigerian or African households. Like in Africa, some men have numerous wives, so there is a big chance that some of these women were neglected with were neglected when they needed affection. So, but yeah, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.